Hey guys, giving out more fishing tips, and today we're talking about the lipless crankbait. So the lipless crankbait is one of, if not my all-time favorite lure, and although they all have the same general profile, as you can see, they come in a lot of different shapes and sizes, from your big 3/4 ounce lipless all the way down to a tiny little 1/8 ounce. There's a lot of different shapes and sizes and colors, but for the most part, the 1/2 ounce is going to be your standard lipless crankbait size. It's kind of your do everything. You can keep your rod tip up, fish it real shallow, put your rod tip down, get it out deep. It's just kind of your do everything. It's by far the most popular size. And if you had to only pick one, I would go with a 1/2 ounce. Now, probably my personal favorite is going to be the 1/4 ounce lipless. These are really good, especially if you're just getting into crankbait fishing or lipless crankbait fishing, because they're much lighter. They're easier to control the depth, easier to keep out of snags, up off the dirty bottom if you have one. They're just a little bit easier to manage and work properly. So if you're just getting started, I would go with a 1/4, but for the most part, the 1/2 ounce is going to be your standard size. Another time the 1/4 ounce can really shine is here during the fall, because during the fall, a lot of times bass will get keyed in on real small bait fish, real small shad, and the 1/4 ounce can really catch them here in the fall. So the 1/2 ounce is going to be your standard. 1/4 ounce, I personally absolutely love, and it's a great place to start. Now, when it comes to colors for your lipless crankbait, you're going to keep it extremely simple. For the most part, you're going to be using shad colors. Your chromes, your silvers, your whites, like this one here. Stuff that imitates shad is by far the most popular and really the best colors to use. Now, if you don't have shad in your body of water, maybe bluegill the primary forage, you can go with something like this. This one here is actually a baby bass, but something with a green side, orange belly. Looks like a bluegill as it's ripped and fished pretty fast past the bass. So if you don't have shad, don't have herring, those shiny, glossy shad and bait fish, go with something like a bluegill pattern. If you're up north and perch are the primary forage, maybe something like a fire tiger here, especially if you have some muddy water. Just really imitate whatever the primary bait fish is. Most of the time it's going to be shad, but if you don't have those, bluegill or perch will work just fine. Now, when are you going to fish a lipless? For the most part, you can catch them all year round, but my favorite time to fish a lipless is all throughout the fall and then into the early spring pre-spawn period. I've found they just work much better when the water's a bit cooler. Those bait fish are schooling up, real active. Those bass have moved shallow, are cruising around and really targeting those bait fish. That's when the lipless shines, in my opinion, when you're covering expansive, shallow areas, because this is a fast-moving, pretty erratic bait fish profile lure. And in the fall, those bass will cruise the shallows pretty much all fall long, targeting those schooling bait fish. The same thing will apply during the pre-spawn when they're moving up from their winter areas, feeding up in the shallow cruising areas for the spawn. They really target those bait fish and really eat a lipless crankbait during all throughout the fall, then in the pre-spawn period during the spring. And then your retrieve for these is pretty simple because there's almost no wrong way to do it. The biggest key is to make it do a little bit something different. Probably one of the most popular techniques is to fish a lipless around grass. Just reel it in, taking the tops of that grass, and then as soon as you get caught on a little piece of grass, you snap it, make it do something erratic, make it do something different, and it'll generate a lot of bites. But if you're not fishing grass or you just don't want to bother with the grass, making it do something erratic is still the key. Reeling in, stop and go, give a jerk of the rod, pause it, yo-yoing it, especially during the colder months like late fall and early winter, is a great technique up and down off the bottom. You just want to make it do something erratic, something different. If there's a bass tracking it, if there's a bass nearby, it sees that, it hears that loud rattle when you pop it or whatever, it's going to react, it's going to eat it, and it's going to generate a lot of bites, a lot more than if you just slowly, steadily reeled it in the entire time. You want to make it jump, pause, do something a little bit different, draw those reaction strikes. And then when it comes to the gear to fish these on, unless you're fishing those tiny little 1/8 ounce lipless like this one, you're going to be fishing it on bait casting gear. I like about a 7-foot to 7.2 medium heavy action rod. If you're fishing on a lot of grass, a lot of guys will go up to a heavy action just so they can give a little more power to those snaps and those rips of the rod tip to pop it free from the grass. But most of the time, I prefer just a medium heavy action, moderate action bait casting rod. And then when it comes to the line, I like 15-pound test fluorocarbon. It's kind of just that perfect medium, do everything line. You can fish your lighter weight 1/4 ounce and still have great action, great feel. But you can go all the way up to a 1/2 ounce or even heavier on that 15-pound test. It's just really kind of a do everything, great middle ground pound test. And the fluorocarbon, you pretty much always want to run fluorocarbon. Monofilament just has too much stretch. You're not going to be able to pop it. You're not going to be able to fish it real erratically. And the braid, it's just too visible. You're not fishing this in heavy cover, heavy grass. So you do want the fluorocarbon line, and I found 15-pound test is really the perfect medium for fishing these lipless crankbaits very effectively in all different areas. So, like I said, lipless crankbaits are one of, if not my all-time favorite bait. They're incredibly fun to catch bass on. They work very, very well. They're incredible, especially during the fall and pre-spawn months. So, if you like this video, go ahead and subscribe if you want, and thanks for watching.